What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian Colon from House of Rasslin, and this is my review for the August 5th episode of AEW Rampage. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so that way you are notified when the House of Wrestling drops the latest content. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Tonight's AEW Rampage, I gotta say, I love the fact that you have SmackDown before Rampage, and the way SmackDown ended, like the energy and the excitement of that kind of carried over as a viewer to what was happening in AEW Rampage. For me, I liked it. I love the contrast. I love the difference. I love the difference in presentations. It's just so fun to go from one wrestling company to the next. Although the time slot isn't the best for AEW, considering, it's Friday, 9 o'clock. Right now it's August. People are out and about, hopefully being safe and everything with all the monkeypox stuff and that crazy stuff. But more people out and about, just enjoying technically the last month of summer. But man, this show tonight, this was a fun AEW Rampage, man. This was, like I always say, this was a very good complementary alternative to what you saw on SmackDown. It didn't take away from it. It just added to it. It's just a different, okay, I like that on SmackDown, and I like this on Rampage. I enjoyed this show. So before I get into the breakdown and things that I liked about this and what I got out of it, I'm going to go through the results. Jon Moxley defeated Mance Warner from GCW. Takeshita defeated Ryan Nemeth. Madison Rayne defeated Layla Gray. And in the main event, in a street fight, Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland defeated Tony Nese and Josh Woods. That was a dope match. That was the results. Man, there's so much to talk about this, man. Moxley versus Mance Warner started off the night, and like I said before, this was so dope to start this match off because as a viewer, as someone who was watching SmackDown before and seeing how that ended, and then switching the channel to this. Oh, crap. Okay. This is... Should I go from that debut, that return, to this? All right, cool. And it's AEW, their first matches on most, if not all their shows, the crowd is into it, man. That's what just adds to it. All right, man, let me sit back, relax, and just watch this wild, crazy stuff and just enjoy this presentation. It's all right, man, this is going to be fun. So Jon Moxley, Mance Warner, this started off as a fight. This was just a brawling. This was just brawling. They were brawling outside. There was a bunch of "Let's Go Moxley" chants. There was a point where Mance Warner did a DDT on top of the stairs, which was crazy. This match brought me back to, man, if you want to say ECW, this was like watching Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer, back in '97 in ECW. That's what this match being presented, that's how I took it. Man, this is like Tommy Dreamer, Terry Funk, and ECW '97, where it's just, let me just sit back and enjoy this with a rabid crowd and everything. This was fun. Both men performed the figure four on each other and just started. This wasn't, it's hurting. It's no, I'm gonna punch the living crap out of you until you let go. And both men did that. That was cool. By that point, Mance Warner, he was busted open. He was just bleeding. Jon Moxley did held his arms up and started stomping him in the face multiple times. He did it one time, stopped, started brawling with him. Then he did it again. And once he did that, he had Mance Warner in a sleeper hold. The ref grabs his arm, and Mance Warner just passed out. He just laid on the floor. The ref called the match. So Jon Moxley wins. That was a crazy first match on Rampage. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Man, it was so much fun watching it. Like I said, man, this was like Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk of ECW 97, or better yet, it was almost like Tommy Dreamer and Raven 97. Just, it had that ECW vibe, only a little bit tamer, because ECW back in the day was really physical, violent, wild, and just aggressive, and just like, oh, damn. Then we get a recap of last Wednesday, and it's an interview that Ricky Starks had. He's being interviewed. The Factory comes in. So you have QT Marshall, Nick Camarado, Aaron Solo, and I think I'm missing someone else that's in the Factory. I can't remember. So you have that, and QT Marshall's like, we're offering you protection. It seems like, everybody can beat you up. Just insinuating like you need protection because you're vulnerable. And then Aaron Solo, man, he gives him the most sarcastic, condescending remark. He's like, yeah, I don't blame Hobbs beating you up. And Ricky Stark's like, what? And from that point on, he just goes off. He's like, you know what? All you guys can kiss my ass, and walks off and everything. This promo, man, Ricky Starks really came across like a young Rock. When the Rock, the first time he turned heel before he joined a corporation, like, that's the vibe that Ricky Starks has right now. And man, AEW, man, they got something with Ricky Starks, man. This is so damn good. Then we had Takeshita versus Ryan Nemeth. This was a squash match, but like, this is the most aggressive and physical I've seen Takeshita be in the ring. Like, he just had no mercy on Ryan Nemeth. He performed the sit-out bomb, and man, he was beating the hell out of him, man. Wound up doing the diving knee. 1, 2, 3. He wins. He just beat him, and man, this guy is going to be a future IWGP World Champion. I like how they're using Takeshita. They're not using him like TNA did with Okada, where they made Okada dress up like Bruce Lee's character from the Green Lantern, where it's like, why do you give him a stereotypical? Let him just be himself. And I like that, and it's catching on. Takeshita's wrestling in GCW and a few various other places, and he's garnering attention and attraction, and just he's building a name for himself that fans are like, man, I seen that dude on AEW, I seen that dude here, and like, man, that guy can go, man, he's fun. I know he was on the Ric Flair's last match event, so man, he's doing some good stuff. Then after the match, you get Peter Avalon. He attempts to attack Takeshita, and Takeshita just gives him a running knee and knocks him out the ring. Then they go backstage with Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. The interviewer, I believe her name is Lexi Nair. She interviews them, and she's like, so, what's the latest on his status? I kind of wish that it would have been a little bit more smoother, because it kind of like, she like, oh, I'm back here with, Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, and she pauses and then asks him a question when it's like, okay, if someone's doing an interview, hey, I'm backstage here with Orange Cassidy and the Best Friend, so what's the latest? Like, you go fluidly. That's the only nitpick thing I did, but other than that, she's doing a great job. So Shrimp Beretta's like, we got to stick together. Hey, we even got to stick together as a trio. So they put their hands in. So Trent, Chuck Taylor, they put their hands in. And before Orange Cassidy can put his hands in, you see the hand of the Doctor get in, and they're like, what is this? And it wasn't the Doctor. It was Danhausen. And Danhausen, oh my God, this is freaking hilarious. So I like that they're slowly hinting towards the AEW Trios tournament that's happening. So, hey, we're getting a Trios tournament in AEW, and we're getting a women's tag team tournament in WWE. Tournaments galore. I love this. From there, we had the women's match between Madison Rayne and Layla Gray. This match, like, it actually felt more like a Impact Wrestling Knockouts match. It wasn't bad. The funny part about this was Stokely Hathaway going to the ring and he was like dancing to Layla Gray's song. It's like, man, this guy's freaking hilarious, man. There was a point in the match where he was very distracting. This is more of a, you could say, technical wrestling style. Layla Gray, like, please do not sleep on Layla Gray. Like, she is going to be a very big factor in AEW's women's division and in women's wrestling. She has the look, she has the persona, she has the mannerisms. She's going to be a major factor in the women's wrestling in the now and in the future. Like, do not sleep on what her potential and what she's going to be. And she fits with the baddies. But yeah, this match was very, technical. A lot of, solid forearm strikes. There were a few things, it's like when they were trying to roll up and she had to give, when Madison Rayne was trying to roll up Layla Gray, she like looking for her arm and she had to give her arm. Mind you, those are little things. It's not something to nitpick. I know people are like, that's just sloppy. Look, you're not wrestling in front of a crowd. I've seen women's wrestling 2 rows in front when I went to the Women's Wrestling Army show here in Chicago with Maria Kanellis. That I don't mind because, granted, this is Madison Rayne's like first match in AEW, and then Layla Gray is wrestling her, so it's a dance. You got to get used to everybody's rhythm. That's what most of these wrestlers have said. Pay attention, people. But no, this was a pretty cool match. Madison Rayne, first match. Hey, she looked pretty solid, man. I was surprised at this match. Like, they gave this women's match some pretty good time, and they went on the outside. Like I said, Layla Gray really got some offense in. There was a part of the match where she did a sidewalk jumping slam, which is like, damn, okay, that's a pretty impressive move. Eventually, Madison Rayne performed Lacrosse Reigns, which is her version of the Crossroads that Cody Rhodes does. Pins Layla Gray 1, 2, 3. She wins. She's celebrating. Music hits. Jade Cargill comes down, and she starts. Man, I love Jade Cargill when she gets on the mic. Like, she's no nonsense and she's punctual. Like, that's so refreshing. And she tells Madison Rayne, show up, show out, and get that ass beat. So she's offering a challenge to the open challenge that she has next week. As she's talking, you see Kiera Hogan attempt to attack Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne performs the cross reins on her. Kiera Hogan rolls out. You have this stare down between Jade Cargill and Madison Rayne. And then, of course, after this, you had Swerve in Our Glory, the whole Mark Henry. It's time for the main event. So before they go to the main event, they announce, it's official, we're going to get Jade Cargill and Madison Rayne this Wednesday on Dynamite. It hasn't been confirmed yet, I haven't seen or read any reports, because I'm really interested to know who was behind the Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter match on Wednesday, because if it was Madison Rayne, man, this AEW Women's Division is going to go to another level, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be another third option for women wrestlers where, hey, I definitely want to go to WWE. I could go to Impact Wrestling, or I could go to AEW, and they're doing a pretty solid job with women's wrestling. So, like I said on Wednesday, hopefully this is a turn of things improving to where it should be and growing for beyond what it should be. So then we get the street fight, Swerve in Our Glory, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee versus Tony Nese and Josh Woods. This was a fun match on a Friday night. Like, this was, man, this was one of those matches, like I said when I started this, man. This AEW Rampage, like, the last part of SmackDown and watching Rampage, like, it just fit, like, it flowed. It flowed. Granted, I know many of you were like, how does a WWE ending of their show flow with the AEW show. It flowed because you didn't anticipate Karrion Kross showing up. That first match with Mance Warner and Jon Moxley set the tone, and then everything else it was just fluid. That's how pro wrestling can be and should be when you have wrestling of this magnitude and content, all accessibility and everything. That's how it should be. Then we had, like I said, the street fight. There was Bask in Your Glory chants. There was a point where Keith Lee does that slap on Josh Woods outside the ring. It's like, damn, that hurt. There's a point where Tony Nese threw protein powder in Keith Lee's face, blinded him and everything. Then there was another point. Man, Swerve Strickland had a toolbox. And man, he threw that with so much force to that steel steps that the case, like the toolbox broke. And I know many people are like, it's a toolbox. It doesn't, like, nah, man. Some of these toolboxes, like, you take everything out and you tap it and you hit, like, it's got some, like, if you put some force behind it, man, you could really hurt somebody with it. By that point, Josh Woods, he forearmed Swerve Strickland. He picked him up like he was going to suplex him and ran with him and, like, turned him and threw him into the... I was like, damn, that's a nasty move. Like, I know Josh Woods can go. I remember seeing him in Ring of Honor. Like, he can go. The brother can go. Then there was a point where the 450 splash by Swerve to break up the pin. They hit Keith Lee with the chair and DDT'd him on the pile of chairs. There you go. Then you had Mark Sterling at another point in the match. He was on the top rope. Josh Woods, he beat up Swerve Strickland because Mark Sterling hit Swerve Strickland with a freaking plier. Yes, a plier. He hit him in the head, so Josh Woods threw him on the table. Mark Sterling's on the top rope. Keith Lee, he's holding him. I know many were like, well, what happened to Josh Woods? Josh Woods, Keith Lee hit him as he tried to go outside the ring. He grabs Mark Sterling. Swerve Strickland gets up from the table. Keith Lee launches Mark Sterling into the table. He, like, breaks the table, which was crazy to see that. Then you had Tony Nese. He kicked Keith Lee. Okay, so he had Keith Lee was on the apron with Josh Woods, and Josh Woods was trying to suplex him through two tables on the outside of the ring that was in the entrance ramp. So Tony Nese ran, super kicked Keith Lee. Keith Lee and Josh Woods went through both tables, which was a crazy, crazy spot. After that, Swerve Strickland performed. Oh man, what did he do? I believe he DDT'd him on the steps, then did the Swerve Skull. 1, 2, 3, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee win. This was a fun AEW Rampage. It was live. I do wish and hope that they do more live Rampages. Honestly, I wouldn't mind them doing a live Rampage once a month. I know logistically and that whole thing, like, it could be kind of crazy and everything, but man, I wish they would do a Rampage once a month for, like, big stuff. But man, this was a fun AEW Rampage. I actually think this was one of the best Rampages in probably a few weeks to a month. I could be wrong on my reviews. I could be wrong, but no, this was a solid AEW Rampage. Of course, tomorrow is Battle of the Belts. Man, it's there's I don't even know where to start with this show. I'm looking forward to the Jade Cargill Madison Rayne match on Wednesday. I forgot to mention the video package of the match between the Lucha Bros and Andrade and Rush next Wednesday, which is going to be that's going to be dope. Man, this is pro wrestling's fun right now, man. it seems like ever since, granted, I know this is an AEW, but I'm just going to share this as a wrestling fan. It just seems like that once Vince McMahon was removed from creative and Triple H was put in as head of creative in WWE, everyone, everyone's like, okay, now we can be creative and just have fun in the industry. Granted, it's still early. We don't know where or how Triple H and Stephanie McMahon will interact with other promotions, which I hope it leads to more cross promotions and stuff like that. But man, this was a fun AEW Rampage on a Friday night. Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee looked strong. Jade Cargill looked like a superstar. Madison Rayne looked solid. Takeshita looked solid. Ricky Starks, the promo, he looked solid. Jon Moxley, Mance Warner, they looked solid. It was just a solid show on AEW Rampage. If this is the start, and I do think that with the changes that they made, I would not be surprised if we start seeing more solid AEW Rampage shows. Honestly, I would love for them to move Rampage to a Saturday at 5 or 6. That would be so much fun because Friday at 9, I don't know, it's tough. Maybe the ratings will increase considering that we're heading into the fall and winter and more people just stay at home. That might be the case, but man, if this could be on a Saturday or hell, even you don't want to do Sundays because the NFL season's coming up. But man, if this was a Saturday where you could do a 1 hour show on a Saturday at 5, 6 o'clock, just ooh, okay, let me check out some wrestling in between the college football games. Oh man, just fit that time slot, bam. Man, that would be so much fun. But we'll see what happens. But man, this was a fun AEW Rampage show. It complemented what happened on Wednesday. These were two solid shows. That's very rare to say because lately either a Dynamite was solid and a Rampage was or vice versa. But man, this was a solid AEW Rampage show. Man, I'm looking forward to Battle of the Belts and then just where AEW's headed towards now that we're pretty much less than a month away from All Out. So this is going to be fun. I'm enjoying it, but man, this is, I don't know what as a wrestling fan, I'm just having fun, man. AEW delivered tonight. They delivered Wednesday. WWE's doing their thing. So we'll see what happens, but this is my review for the August 5th episode of AEW Rampage. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so that way you are notified when House of Wrestling drops new content. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And with that, man, pro wrestling is fun. Let us enjoy this because, man, this is only the beginning. With that, I'm out.